This video is for my girlies with the thick thighs, big hips, and small waists. To the girlies who would grow up jean shopping only to have to size up like 2 to 3 sizes just to get something over our butts and be giant on the waist. It seems like only recently brands have discovered that some women's body shapes are different from others. Not everyone is just straight up and down. Today we're reviewing a bunch of brands that have finally decided to start making jeans with extra room in the hips and a little bit less space in the waist so that we can actually wear jeans without having to get them altered that will fit our thicker thighs, larger hips, and no gaping in the waist. Could have saved me a lot of tears in the dressing room if these types of jeans came out when I was like a preteen teenager, where I would have to size up to like sometimes like a size 6 in jeans, and I would just have to wear a belt all the time just to keep my jeans up because they would be so giant in the waist, but if I tried any smaller size, I would never be able to get them on. But the game for us with a slightly more hourglass figure has changed, and today I'm super excited because this is a very highly requested video. I know a lot of you guys struggle with this. We are reviewing curvy style jeans. So a lot of these jeans brands will call it their curvy line, and that's not another word for like plus size or larger sizes. These brands are using a larger discrepancy in their waist and hip measurement. So every brand has their own little definition of curvy, but for every brand today I will mention what they say their definition of curvy is, but usually they just add a couple extra inches of fabric in the hip and thigh area. If you're new here, my name is Kathryn. We do a lot of honest activewear reviews, but lately I've just been feeling like straying outside the activewear, just a little step outside to regular clothing. And as someone who rarely finds a pair of jeans that fits because I do have a slightly athletic build, I carry my weight in my glutes and thighs, I'm excited to share some jeans that actually work for me. So I had some jeans myself that actually work for me and are considered like curvy jeans, but I asked you guys on Instagram and got a couple recommendations. So today we will be trying jeans from Abercrombie Curve Love, Aerie Curvy, Madewell Curvy, Old Navy Curvy, some affordable options, and I also threw in a pair of Fashion Nova because those were actually the first jeans I ever tried that I didn't have to wear a belt with back in college. They aren't labeled as curvy, but everything in Fashion Nova is like that. So before we get started, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, be sure to do so, and let's get into it. So if you're not new here, you know that I like to make my reviews pretty methodical. I like to make sure I cover all my bases for every pair of leggings, every pair of shorts, sports bras, etc. So for jeans today, I came up with my own little system of metrics so we could make sure we cover everything for each pair. So for every pair of jeans today, we're going over if the sizing is true to the size guide. So I did follow the size guide for all of these, and I will do updated measurements in just a second to see what my measurements are like right here, right now, because they've been pretty stable and measurements are always in the description down below, but why not do them right now so we know if these really fit. We will also go over the size range as well as the website's definition of curvy, the fabric composition, if they have any stretch, if they really are curvy friendly or if they kind of failed to do what they said they would do, and then any other thoughts we may have. So we're gonna start it out with what has been my favorite pair of jeans for a long time, Abercrombie Curve Love. So maybe by the end of the video, my favorites will change because I haven't tried a lot of these brands, but I am truly obsessed with Abercrombie Curve Love jeans, especially their ultra high rise 90s jeans. These are the ultra high rise 90s straight jeans. These are especially my favorite. They have this little slit at the bottom, so almost makes them kind of look like more of a flare. They just fall over your shoes a little bit better than like the true straight ones. I have tried some of like the true straight ones that were a little bit tight on my calves because not only do I have large thighs, I also have giant calves. Someone had the audacity to question me the other day. They were like, have you ever had to purchase a extended calf boot? And I was like, girl, I have never fit into a regular calf boot. I got Hunter rain boots a long time ago in college. Even the extended calf version, still a little snug. Partially genetics, partially doing ballet for 15 years of my life. Anyways, I have large calves, so that is another thing we will be looking at in this video if you struggle with large calves like me, to see if the jeans will cause a problem there. Anyways, we're doing a lot of rants. We're gonna wrap it up on the rants here. So the ultra high rise 90s straight jeans. So I wear a size 25 in Abercrombie Curve Love. I think they do tend to run like a teeny bit big. I've tried a 26 before and it was a little larger in the waist, and we'll see what my waist measurement today is, but it's usually around a 26. So the size guide would put me at a 26 or a 2, but I wear a 0.25. So Abercrombie's definition of Curve Love is an additional 2 inches through the hip and thigh to help eliminate waist gap. What I like about the Abercrombie size guides is they actually include the regular hip measurement as well as the curvy measurement, and a lot of these other brands today, they only include one size guide, so I'm like, is this the curvy size guide or the regular? Like, do I need to size up? So Abercrombie makes it very clear. Anyways, I tend to prefer a lighter wash jean. I don't really care if it has distressing on it at all. This one is like maybe slightly distressed along the waistband, but just for like a kind of worn in effect. And these are 99% cotton, 1% elastane. Generally, I find them pretty much on the stiff side, not a lot of stretch, but when they fit in the glutes and the thighs, you don't really need stretch. And that's coming from someone who used to only wear stretchy jeans. So let's try these. So as promised, let's do some up-to-date measurements. So your waist is your smallest point. So we're getting just about 26, 26 and a half. And the hip measurement is the widest point of your hips here. And we are getting a 39. And just for fun, even though no one ever measures the thighs on websites, got about a 23.75, 24. So first up, we have the Abercrombie Curve Love jeans, and I'm just gonna start with kind of like a shortened frame so we can see mostly the waist. So based on my measurements that we just measured today, I really should be more of a 26 in these jeans, but I have tried the 26 and I just prefer the way the 25 feels. I just got these on so easily. They are not too tight in my thighs. They're not squishing down my glutes. Like, look at my butt. Like, it looks great. These pockets are in a position where I feel like it's lifting on the glutes. The waist is nice and snug, and I never have to wear a belt with these. Every single pair of jeans I ever wore growing up, I had to wear a belt. I hate belts. They're uncomfortable. I don't even like how they look. So not having to wear a belt now is just amazing. Anyways, these are my current #1 favorite jeans. Love them so much. In terms of the size chart, I would recommend sizing one size down, but everyone's gonna be a little different. So these just have a teeny bit of stretch to them. It's really more give. They're definitely not like the stretchiest jeans, like in terms of like moving around. Like I can't like do a ton of movements in them, but just like every day, like going out to eat, walking around, I don't feel restricted in these. These are the long length. I popped on a pair of shoes because I felt like looking at these with shoes on would be the best. So I love the little slit in these because it just falls over your shoes really nicely. I think the long is a good length for me. It does go over my shoes quite a bit. So if I'm not wearing shoes, they do look a little bit long, but I feel like having them slightly longer rather than slightly shorter elongates the leg a little bit. And when you first put on these jeans, I have worn them a couple times since their last wash. They do stretch out a teeny bit, as most denim does. So when you first put them on and they feel a little bit tight, that is normal. And these are a nice high rise. They go to the smallest point of my waist, just about a teeny bit above the belly button. But I love these ones so much. And then pretty similar situation, we got the Abercrombie Curve Love Ultra High Rise 90s Relaxed jeans. So these ones just have a slightly wider leg. I'm just loving that we are kind of going more towards the wider leg, kind of a looser jean style trend lately. Growing up having to wear skinny jeans and not having them fit in my waist, just a disaster. I find these not only more comfortable, but also just more flattering on my body type. So I love a slightly loose jean. I also get the tall lengths in all of these. Abercrombie is awesome and they have extra short, short, regular, tall, and extra tall. I'm 5'9" and I wear the tall, and they're plenty tall. So this one's very similar to the last one, except just a slightly wider leg. And again, I got like a slightly distressed lightish wash just because I like a light wash. Okay, so here's the second pair. The rise is about the same. High rise goes to the smallest point of my waist. This is just the most flattering place for jeans to fall on me because it kind of draws the attention to my smallest point. It makes me look a little more hourglass rather than boxy. So this is kind of my go-to, and I will never wear a full-length top. I love tops that end right at the top of my jeans. So this one's a little cropped for me today. I'm just wearing it so we can really see the jeans. But for anyone who has a similar figure to me, where you carry a little more weight at the bottom and have a smaller waist, it's just much more flattering to have shirts end here because then you're not hiding the smallest point of you. Just my little take and what I've learned about dressing myself over the years. So these are the relaxed jeans. Again, these are 25. I have not really any gaping in the waistband, maybe like a tiny bit of looseness. But again, these are a size smaller than what they say I should be. And again, just, you know, flattering on the glutes. Don't get me wrong, it's snug in this area, but it is not squishing me down at all. Really just tiny bit of give with these, wouldn't really call it stretch. And I'll throw on my shoes in a minute, but just wanted to show these are definitely more of a relaxed fit. So for my thick calf girlies, I still have a lot of space between my calf and these jeans. And for days where I'm just not looking to accentuate the calves, I really like these. To me, they don't really look like super baggy because they're still nice and like fitted up at the top. For me, these are a better straight leg fit than the actual Abercrombie straight leg jeans. And here they are with just my little Air Forces. They definitely go over the top a little bit, but this is kind of how I like the length to be. But yeah, I love these jeans. In terms of like bending over, I can do this very comfortably. So these relaxed fit ones are a more recent purchase for me, but I'll definitely be getting a lot of use out of them. Definitely curvy friendly. So we have a little surprise pair of jeans because I forgot that I ordered the 90s straight jeans in black to go with this sweater. Also got from Abercrombie. Guys, Abercrombie is easily my favorite store right now. It's a problem. I needed a new little fall sweater, okay? So I had to get the jeans. I don't have very many jeans, so that's how I'm justifying it. I like got rid of all the jeans that didn't fit me, and now I only have like 3 pairs. Anyways, let's check these out. So first, the waist again. Size 25 long. This is my usual size. Still have room in the glutes. So they definitely skim the calves a little bit, but I think they're still okay on me. If anyone has any, you know, thing to point out that doesn't look good, let me know. I don't take offense. So this is what the straight leg without the little slit in the side looks like. They almost look like slightly tapered to me, but they're definitely not skinny jeans. So next we're moving on to Airy Curvy. So I tried to try the Airy Curvy like maybe like a year ago at some point. I don't know why I didn't look at the size chart, but I ordered a size 6 and they were gigantic on my waist. So this time we ordered a size 2. So with Airy, their line is called Curvy, and their size chart, I'm not exactly sure if it's for the regular sizes or the curvy sizes. Kind of feel like it's for regular, but I'm not sure. But anyways, I feel like I'm more in the size small 4 to 6 range, but I ended up getting a 2 because the 6s were just so big last time that I didn't think a 4 would even work for me. So we'll see if it's true to the size chart or not. So I got a size 2 long, and these are the Curvy Mom jeans, and they are a classic stretch. So let's see. Oh yeah, these do have some good stretch to it, so definitely stretchier than Abercrombie's. They didn't have a ton of jean options. I wanted a more straight leg jean, but I just felt like Abercrombie had a much wider range of styles and like washes and everything. So anyways, we got to the Curvy Mom jeans, and Airy's definition of curvy is most women's jeans use a 10-inch hip versus waist measurement, but Curvy is designed with 13 inches. Okay, that looks like the size chart I was looking at is for curvy then. It just doesn't say it's for curvy. I used to wear a ton of American Eagle jeans growing up because they're kind of like mid price range, and they've always had like a wide range of lengths and everything too. I've always had to buy tall jeans, so let's try these on. Okay, so I feel like size 2 was the right choice here because they're definitely fitting on my waist. I wouldn't say they're too big there. These jeans are definitely a little more lightweight and definitely stretchier. Wow, okay, these have like quite a bit of stretch compared to the Abercrombie ones. So if you're looking for a little more stretch, these definitely have it. They're super high rise, like at least an inch higher than the Abercrombie's. Definitely not too tight at all in the thighs or the hips, but I do kind of have a little extra fabric like right here. I feel like it needed to taper in a little bit sooner above the glute area. So maybe these are meant to be a slightly more relaxed fit, but I just do have a little bit of space right here. It's not really a problem if I'm treating these kind of a little more relaxed, which occasionally mom jeans are. So I would still say these fit, and they're definitely still curvy friendly. They are good on the waist, and they have room in the hips and the thighs. So I did get the tall here again. I just cuffed them one little time here. Oh, Peach, you coming to join us? You joining us? I probably shouldn't be picking you up when I'm wearing a black shirt, but you're just too cute. You're just too cute. Anyways, these are definitely a more tapered leg style fit. So they are snug on the calves here, but they're not too tight. So I wouldn't say that these are, you know, not thick calf friendly. I would definitely say these are still okay. I don't think they look weird. We got some cuts in the knees, which often just make them a little easier to move around in. They're definitely pretty stretchy. You can drop it in these jeans. So definitely a little more on the stretchy side, definitely a little more lightweight. So maybe more of like a fall spring jean rather than winter. But yeah, I would definitely say these are approved, a little more reasonably priced than the Abercrombie's. And let's try on the other style. Okay, and then I got the Curvy 90s boot cut jeans. So these definitely look to be, oh yeah, I wasn't sure about this little seam situation, but I wanted to try something other than a mom jean. These are a boot cut, which means they're like almost kind of a flare, but not like super exaggerated, and definitely more of a straight leg. Got them in the same size 2, which they call a 26. And these also say stretch, and feels like a teeny bit of stretch, but not quite as much as the last ones. Let's try it on. So I just realized that I've been calling these the Airy Curvies, but it's actually American Eagle, because American Eagle has the jeans. Airy is like the underwear in the activewear. So same parent company, so you guys get it, but my bad, these are American Eagle. Okay, so here are the more straight leg jeans. They are still labeled as a stretch jean, but I can definitely feel they are not quite as stretchy as the mom jeans. So I'm still gonna give them like a low to medium stretch. They're definitely stretchier than Abercrombie, not as stretchy as the previous American Eagle jeans, and these are definitely a little bit thicker and more of like a classic like denim weight as well. So I got a size smaller than what the size chart put me at, especially in the waist. They put me at like a 4, and I actually am still getting quite a bit of gaping in this waist here, so you can definitely see when I bend over, these are just not quite where they should be on the waist, but I can definitely feel we are probably at the largest size I can go to on the hips and the glutes. The thighs definitely feel okay, but this kind of makes me question the American Eagle curvy line. I think that Abercrombie definitely has more of a waistband taper, and I like things to be nice and snug on that waist. I don't like any gaping. I know that these are still gonna stay up, you know, when I'm out and about, because they still have that like tapered fit like up in here, but at the very top of the waistband, I just have a little bit too much space. Other than that, I feel like these jeans fit really well. They're a nice high rise, not quite as high as the mom jeans. I like the wash of these as well. And let's take a look at the bottom of these. I don't really like this little split in the front, so, you know I chose these. Sometimes people are like, why did you choose those if you don't like them? I didn't have a lot of options, okay? I wanted a more straight leg fit. This is what they had. So I definitely prefer this side slit in the front, but I still think that these are overall cute. The seam kind of goes from the side down into the front and kind of crosses over onto the inside. Length is good. I got the tall length, and I would say this is generally good for, you know, my people who usually choose a long length jean. Still can pretty easily like bend over in them, not very restricting, and they're still definitely not squishing down the glutes. I just think for my measurements specifically that Abercrombie works just a teeny bit better. But I would still say these are overall curvy friendly, just maybe not quite as much as Abercrombie. Next, we're going with Old Navy Curvy. So a lot of you guys recommended these as kind of like an alternative to the Abercrombie Curve Love, and they're a lot more affordable. So Old Navy is owned by like the same parent company as like Gap and Athleta. So I think Gap also makes jeans like this. I ordered the Old Navy ones, and these ones are $44.99. So already like half the price of some of the other jeans today. And every time I go on Old Navy's website, they have just like this random 30% off deal. So I would definitely not buy these unless they are 30% off, which means you're getting a pair of jeans for like $30-ish. So Old Navy's definition of curvy is 1 inch smaller at the waist, 2.5 inch roomier at the hip, and 1 inch wider at the thigh. So a little more roomy in the hips than maybe the Abercrombie, but maybe a little less wide in the thighs. My thighs are like almost the same size as my waist, so I really need a lot of space. So these are the Curvy OG Straight ankle jeans. I got the size 2 tall. In their size chart, I'm not really sure if it's curvy or not. This is one of the ones that wasn't sure, but if the waist is 26, this is the hips and butt is 36.5. And I think my hips are more like 39. Hopefully that's the measurement pre adding 2.5 inches, or else these are not gonna fit. But yeah, went with a 2 tall. Pretty good size range is 00 to 30, and they have short, regular, and tall inseams. So luckily I'm not like super tall where I need to do extra tall. If you're an extra tall gal, probably go with the Abercrombies. So these are kind of like a mom jean shape. They look like they have a slight taper, and I wonder if they have any stretch. Only 1% spandex, so probably not gonna have a lot of stretch. Yeah, just a little bit of give. To be honest, I don't really need a ton of stretch. I actually like when the jeans are a little more structured, and these don't have any distressing or anything on them, so let's give them a try. So first of all, these are kind of more of a tapered, almost skinny leg. That's just kind of the options that I had here. Also a high rise for these. Getting almost like a little bit of camel situation in them. I'm sure that would go away after wearing them a little bit, and definitely able to fit my hips and thighs. I did go with the size chart here that put me with a 26-inch waist at a size 2, so that's what I'm wearing. And unfortunately, we still do have some waistband gaping. I know it really doesn't look like much on camera, but okay, we can see it here. So when I bend over, definitely still have some waistband gaping. I'd be interested to see if I could size down. I know it would be a little snug at first, but they might loosen up. So that might solve our problems here, but I think the waist could be taken in just a little bit more. And I don't think I have like a crazy hip waist measurement difference. It's only around 13 inches, which is about what these brands are advertising. So I feel like it should really fit me here. And part of the reason why I look for no waistband gaping, especially when I first put on these jeans, which this is my first time trying them on, is because jeans always stretch out just a teeny bit over time. So if they're a little bit tight in the waist, in an hour, they're gonna be perfect. So other than that, let's take a look. So these are definitely more of a tapered, skinny shape. They're not too tight on my calves, but they're definitely skimming them for me. And with like ankle tapered jeans like this, I do kind of prefer to have like maybe a little bit of a cuff situation, maybe even two. I got the long length, which I feel like maybe I didn't need, because if it's a tapered shape, I kind of do prefer to show a little bit of ankle. So this is just cuffed twice here. In terms of stretch, these are actually pretty stretchy. Okay, yeah, I would give these a solid medium stretch. They still definitely feel like jeans though. They got a nice like thick, sturdy feel. They're not squishing down my butt, not squishing down my thighs too much. If anything, I have like a little bit extra space in there. So I'm still going to give these a curvy friendly rating, but I would definitely suggest sizing down at least one size and perhaps playing around with the sizing a little bit. I wonder if I chose a size 0, if these would fit a little better for me in the waist. But yeah, for me, still don't beat the Abercrombie Curve Love. Those are still more snug in the waist for me. So next we have by far our most expensive jeans of the day. We have Madewell Curvy. I remember it was probably a couple months ago at this point, but I was at home and the mall that I had back at home in California had a Madewell store and they had a ton of jeans. So like I tried a bunch on. All of them were like giant in the waist and super gaping. So when a lot of you guys recommended Madewell to me, I was like, yeah, no, like those did not work for me. But I didn't realize they had a curvy line that apparently they just like didn't have in store. I even had like a little sales rep like helping me out. She didn't give me any curvy stuff, even though I was clearly showing her I had like 6 inches too much in the waist. Anyways, we got the Madewell Curvy Perfect Vintage Straight Jeans. These were $138. Definitely a splurge. I think you can get them on sale or something too. And you know, if it's like a really good pair of jeans you're gonna wear a lot, jeans do last a long time. So personally, I like to spend a max of like $80 on jeans and I only own like 3 pairs. So anyways, the size range, at least for this specific version of the jeans, looked to be a little less inclusive. I only saw 23 to 33 and those are waist sizes. So definitely not quite as much. I don't think this specific style had additional lengths either. I got a 25 and this is where I have questions about the size chart. If you are going to make your sizing waist sizes, this says W25. What size do you think the waist should measure at? 25 inches, right? You go to the size chart, it says US size 25, waist measurement 26. Like, let's not do that. Let's not. There's no reason to play around with vanity sizing. I don't care if my size says it's something slightly different, because you know what? No one is pulling open my jeans, looking at the internal tag and seeing this girl's wearing a 26. You know, no one cares. So I just feel like they should adjust their size chart to not be like that. But anyways, got a 25 because I felt like that would fit me. And it says the waist is a 26 and the hip is a 36. I think that's their regular jean sizing because like we learned with Aerie, a 10-inch difference is like the average size difference, but most of these brands are adding a couple inches onto the hips, which is what this one said as well, but it doesn't give us specific hip numbers. I believe I got one with a slight amount of stretch. Madewell has a lot of different little metrics on their website, but one of them is the amount of stretch. And I didn't want to get something that was 100% rigid, but I also didn't want to get something super stretchy. So I got the second level of stretch, which is called comfort stretch, not fully rigid, but the lowest stretch. So what I would call that is more give than stretch, but we do have a little bit of give here. Looks like a nice high rise. These just have one little distress on the right knee and looks like a pretty straight leg overall. Let's give them a try. Listen guys, I'm a little scared because these are the most expensive things we're reviewing today. $138 for jeans. And I think that they're about to be my favorite. I don't want them to be. I don't want them to be my favorite. But if they deserve the #1 spot, they deserve it. So, okay, so these are the Madewells. Okay, and I did get the size that they recommended to me based on my waist. So these are the 25 and they're already feeling nice and good in the hip area. And oh my gosh, okay. That literally fits so well. Oh my gosh, guys, if there's something I like, it's a good waist snatching moment. I love to be snatched. They're not cutting into me anywhere. They're not too tight anywhere. They're just perfect. And like no gaping. I mean, there's always gonna be like teeny little bit, but this is very similar to Abercrombie. Okay, Madewell, you have redeemed yourself from betraying me in that dressing room just about a year ago. Okay, on to the rest of these. Definitely a high rise. I would say these are actually a little bit higher than Abercrombie. Love good high rise, so I'm not upset about it. I got the ones with a teeny bit of stretch, and I would agree these are about a low to medium stretch, even a teeny bit stretchier than Abercrombie. Definitely curvy friendly. We are contoured in the glutes back here. The pockets are still above the bottom of my glutes, so we're getting a little bit of lifting, and it's snug all the way from my glutes to my waist. The American Eagles had like this kind of gaping space right there. These are nice and snug, contouring, snatching. I feel great in these. I feel great. This is why people spend $138 on jeans, because these feel awesome. Now on to the rest of them. So I believe these ones only came in one length. So they are kind of like an ankle straight jean. They do just skim the calves. So they're not necessarily like not large calf friendly, but for me, they are skimming the calves a little bit, and they only came in one length. So these are an ankle length for me. Madewell definitely has multiple lengths in other styles of their jeans. I just felt like I liked this style the most. Got a little knee cut. I can like a good distressed moment, so that's fine for me. Yeah, definitely can still move around in these well. Definitely flattering. And these are definitely hourglass friendly. So in fact, probably more so than most of the ones we've done today. So Madewell, unfortunately, you are expensive, but they know what they're doing. I really like these. So last is a little honorable mention to Fashion Nova. I got these mom jeans in college, and you know, Fashion Nova, it's not a great brand or anything, but in college, you know, strict budgets, I needed a pair of jeans that fit me, and I think I spent like $30 on these jeans, and I've worn them a lot over the years and they're still holding up. So I don't think they have these ones specifically on the website right now, but any of their like boyfriend mom shape style jeans are similar to this. And I wear a size 5 in Fashion Nova jeans, and that's about what they put me at, like a 3 to 5 for a size small. And honestly, all of Fashion Nova's jeans that I've had, I had a couple other styles in the past that were more like skinny style, so I've since gotten rid of them because we decided to take my legs out of leg prison and give them a little more space. But anyways, I always got a size 5. It was always snug on the waist and not squishing down my glutes and my thighs. So they've always been pretty curvy friendly in all of their styles, even if they don't label it. And yeah, these mom jeans, they only come in one length, unfortunately, so they really are more of like an ankle jean. I usually just cuff them up like once, and no distressing on these. And last on the list, we have my Fashion Nova jeans. So these ones are not quite as high rise as some of the others, and keep in mind these have been worn quite a few times without washing. You just don't need to wash your jeans every time you wear them. Like, I wear them for like an hour or two max. They're not getting washed unless they're like actually dirty, and I'm pretty sure that's what jean manufacturers like want you to do. So these do have a little bit of gaping on me, but after a fresh wash and dry, they are nice and snug on the waist. So that's why we're not getting upset about this kind of gaping, because I know it's just because I've worn them a bunch. So yeah, still high rise, definitely friendly to the glutes. I never feel like these are too tight on my glutes or thighs. And then here's the full length. So I do usually just kind of cuff on like once, but these only come in one length, so unfortunately they're never going to be quite long enough on me. But like I said, with an ankle jean, I don't mind them being a little bit short on the ankles. So I personally don't mind this length, but it would be nice if they came in more lengths. But I only spent like $30 on these, so we can't be too upset. These don't have like a ton of stretch. I would say it's like a little bit of give, but just because the shape is a little more relaxed, they just feel like a little more movable in them. We're gonna go with a low stretch. I think that's good. So definitely still flattering on the glutes in these. The bottom of the pockets is still above my little crease here. So we know there's still gonna be a little bit lifting. And it's hard to say this about the rest of the jeans, but these ones have just stood the test of time. I've had them for like probably 6 years at this point, and I don't wear jeans that much, but I have gotten a good amount of use out of these, and they're just like soft, comfy. They don't really feel like jeans, which is why I like them. These were my first mom jeans, and you can just tell they have a little bit of room in the back of the knee here, just like a little bit of room throughout, and they're just very comfy. Some Fashion Nova jeans I think are a little bit out there, wild, but these ones are just very basic and cute, no branding, and they're just solid jeans. Okay, so that is all of the jeans we got today. I tried on a lot of jeans today, and you guys have known from the occasional jean that I've tried on this channel, it doesn't usually go that well. Usually I like can't get them on over my thighs. They're just like gaping holes in the waist. While we had some waists today that weren't quite super snatched, none of them were as bad as any non-curvy style jean that I've tried. Anyone who's gone jean shopping knows that usually it's just a tough day for the confidence, but you know what? All those jeans today, I feel like I felt good in and really could recommend all of them. Some of them definitely fit me better than others. So if we had to do a ranking, I think Abercrombie is still number one. I know, I hate to say it, but I think the price and the way they fit me and the amount of styles and lengths they have just makes them number one. Number two is actually Madewell, and I mean, I did not want to put them there because they are so expensive, but those just like fit me beautifully and were super comfortable and just made me feel really good. Number three, I think we're gonna go with Old Navy because even though we didn't quite have the waist snatching on those, I liked the affordable price. They had multiple lengths and they still had a good amount of styles. Below Old Navy, I think we're gonna put American Eagle because we did have a little gaping on the waistband in those as well. But again, good size range, good amount of lengths, less styles than Old Navy though, so that's why they're just like a little bit below and a little more expensive. And I don't know if it really deserves it, but I think Fashion Nova is gonna go at the bottom just because I feel like a lot of their styles just like aren't really what I'm looking for, and they don't have multiple lengths, and I don't feel quite as snatched in those as I do in some of the other ones. Although I had worn those jeans a couple times, so they were a little stretched out. Even when they're prime, fresh out the wash, they never feel quite as snatching as like Abercrombie or Madewell. So I know that was a long video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want a part 2 and you have enough suggestions, I'm gonna need like at least 3 or 4 more suggestions. Let me know and we can keep trying. And also let me know if there's anything you'd like me to add to the review that I didn't include this time. I don't review jeans very often, so I tried to just include things that I thought would be helpful. And if you made it this far and you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and just leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!